Good morning, dear students. This is Arvind Dobriyal, and you all are welcome to the e-learning portal of Cambridge International School, Daswa. We are reading the main textbook, that is Beehive. So, the chapter that we will read today is The Snake and the Mirror, written by V.M. Bashir. Before starting the chapter, let's have a quick recap of the poem The Snake Trying, written by W.W.E. Ross, that we have done in our previous video. The Snake Trying is a beautiful poem about a snake. One day, while lying on the bank of a river or a pond, the snake is seen by someone and is run after by him with a stick. Seeing its life in danger, the snake tries to escape from the approaching stick. It runs with sudden curves in its thin, long body. The poet gets fascinated with its graceful movement. The snake glides through the water to save itself from the stroke. The poet is filled with sympathy for the creature and makes a request to the pursuer not to disturb it. He asks him to let the snake go without hurting it. He says that it is a small green snake and is harmless even to children. But the pursuer does not listen to the poet's request. He keeps on chasing the snake, who ultimately disappears in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Now, after the quick recap of the poem, The Snake Trying, let's move to our present chapter, The Snake and the Mirror, written by V.M. Bashir. So, first of all, I would like to tell you something about the author. Wakam Muhammad Bashir was born on 21st of January in 1908 in Kottayam district in Travancore, and he was died on 5th of July in 1994 in Bepur, Calicut district in India. He was an Indian independence activist and writer of Malayalam literature. He was a writer, humanist, freedom fighter, novelist, and short story writer, noted for his path breaking, down to earth style of writing that made him equally popular among literary critics as well as the common man. The government of India awarded him the fourth highest civilian honor of the Padma Shri in 1982. He was also a recipient of the Sahitya Academy Fellowship, Kerala Sahitya Academy Fellowship, and the Kerala Sahitya Film Award for the Best Story. He resolved to join the fight for an Indian independence, leaving school to do so while he was in the fifth form. Bashir was known for his secular attitude and he treated all religions with respect. Since there was no active independence movement in Kochi, being a princely state, he went to Malabar district to take part in the Salt Satyagraha in 1930. The group was arrested before they could participate in the Satyagraha. Bashir was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment and sent to Kannur prison. He became inspired by stories of heroism by revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Thapar, and Shivram Rajguru, who were executed while he was in the jail. Bashir is known for his unconventional style of language. He did not differentiate between literary language and the language spoken by the commons, and did not care about the grammatical correctness of his sentences. Initially, even his publishers were unappreciative of the beauty of his language. They edited out or modified conversations. Bashir's characters were also marginalized people like gamblers, thieves, pickpockets, and prostitutes, and they appeared in his works, native and pure. And now, the introduction of the story. The story is a narrative within the narrative. The writer tells us the story which was told to him by a homeopathic doctor. As we see from the title, the snake and the mirror are the two most important things in the story. This homeopathic doctor encountered a snake. The snake fell on the doctor. When the snake saw its reflection in the mirror, it was more interested in that, and the doctor's life was saved. Now, the explanation of paragraph first, second, and third. The homeopathic doctor is narrating this story. He asked the writer and the group if anyone had ever been wrapped up by a cobra snake. The audience became silent due to the fear of the cobra snake. Then the doctor narrated his story. He says, "It was a hot summer night, almost 10 o'clock. He was returning home after having his dinner at a restaurant. As the doctor was opening the door, he heard a noise from above, but he did not react because he was used to such noise. It was the noise of rats. There were many rats in his room, so he was used to the noise. There were no light in the doctor's room, so he lighted the kerosene lamp with a matchbox. He had taken a small room on rent. As he had just started his medical practice, he was earning very less. That's why he was living in such a shabby and dirty condition. He told the writer that he had just 60 rupees in his bag. Further, he added that he had some shirts and dhotis to wear. He also had a black colored coat which he was wearing at the time of the incident. He removed his coat, his shirt, and his vest. He says that the vest was not so white, which means that it was dirty. Then he opened the windows. The room which he had taken on rent was on the outside of the house, and one wall of the room faced the garden. The roof had tiles on it, and the gable was supported by the beams. Inside the room, there was no roof. The beam on which the gable was supported was full of rats which went in and out of the room. He set his bed near the wall and he lay down to sleep but could not sleep. It seemed that the wind god has taken time off, means that as the wind was not blowing, the wind god has taken a day off. He was on a holiday and so wind was not blowing at all. Now, the explanation of paragraph 5th, 6th, and 7th. So, the doctor came back to his room and sat on a chair. And he opened the box under the table and took out a book named Materia Medica. He kept it on the same table on which a lamp, a mirror, and a small comb was lying. He opened it and sat down. As he was sitting in front of the mirror, he looked at his image in the mirror. He says that he was a great admirer of beauty. As he was a young man, he liked to appreciate beautiful things and wanted to improve his looks to look more handsome. As he was unmarried and he was a doctor too, he was a bachelor also. So he wanted to make people know that he was also available. He combed his hair, trying to set them properly. When he was combing his hair, he again heard the same sound from above but ignored it. He looked carefully in the mirror and decided that he would shave daily and grow a thin mustache because he thought that he would look better and more handsome with it. The doctor repeats that he was not married and was a doctor too. So he wanted to say that he was supposed to look very handsome. He was supposed to be good looking so that he could get a better match for himself. He appreciated himself and said that he had an attractive smile. Another thing that he decided was that he would always keep smiling because he looked better when he smiled. The doctor was being ironic when he said that to keep smiling was an earth shaking decision. Again, he is stressing that he was a bachelor, and to add to it, he was also a doctor. He thought that he had a lot of value, and that's why he wanted to look handsome. He got up from his chair and started walking up and down in the room, and then he decided on one more thing. He decided to marry a woman doctor, one who had lots of money and a good medical practice. Further, the doctor thought that he would marry a fat girl. For, for that, he had a logical reason also. He reasoned that if sometime he makes some mistakes and his wife chases him in anger to hit him, she will not be able to run fast and catch him if she would be fat. Thinking all these things, the doctor again sat down on the chair. Now the sound had stopped, but all of a sudden something fell, making the sound of a thud. It felt like some rubber tube had fallen, and the doctor did not bother about it. But then he thought of turning around to see what had fallen. As soon as the doctor turned, he saw that a big fat snake had crawled over the chair and sat on his shoulder. The timing of the doctor's turning around and the snake's landing on his shoulder was the same. Now, the explanation of paragraph 7th, 8th, and 9th. So, the narrator says that he did not panic, jump, or tremble. He did not shiver, he did not scream. It happened so fast and so instantly that he did not have any time to react. The snake moved in such a way that it wrapped itself on the doctor's left arm like a coil. It was in such a position, just 3 to 4 inches away from his face, that if he would have moved slightly, the snake could have bitten him. The doctor says that he was not only holding his breath but had turned into a stone, just like a statue. Although physically he was still like a statue, but his mind was very actively. He was thinking what he should do next. There was darkness all around him. Outside the room, inside the room, it was all very dark. There was only single light, the light of the lamp, and in that light he was sitting like a statue. As he was in trouble, he started feeling the presence of God. He was not able to do anything, so he started thinking of God. He decided not to speak lest he should anger the snake. In his heart, the doctor was praying to God to save his life. As the snake has coiled itself, it had wrapped itself around his arm. He was experiencing a lot of pain. He was feeling as if a thick molten rod made of lead was crushing his arm and breathing it. He felt helpless. He could not do anything to save himself. He knew that if he moved a bit, the snake would attack him. Death was very near. It was sitting at a distance of 4 inches. He thought that if the snake bit him, then what would he do? Which medicine he would take, and then he recalled that there was no medicine in his room. He felt that he was a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. He was feeling very weak, and as he did not have any way to come out of this situation, he smiled at his foolishness. The doctor felt that God appreciated the doctor's realization of his mistake. Something favorable happened, and the doctor's life was saved. The snake moved its head to the other side and saw the mirror. It looked at the mirror and it saw its own reflection in it. It is not possible that any snake had never looked at itself in the mirror before. But yes, this snake was looking at itself in the mirror, and the doctor was surprised because the snake was looking at itself in the mirror very carefully. He was thinking that maybe it was admiring its beauty. The doctor imagined that the snake must be imagining different styles like he was thinking a few minutes back when he was looking at his face in the mirror. He thought that maybe the snake was thinking of growing a mustache, or maybe wearing eyeshadow and mascara to look more pretty, or maybe it was thinking of wearing red colored bindi on its forehead. Now, the explanation of paragraph number 10, 11th, and 12th. So, the doctor did not know whether it was a male or a female snake, and he says that he will never come to know this because just then it crawled from its arm and moved down into his lap. From there, it jumped and started crawling over the table. It crawled very close to the mirror and started looking at itself. The doctor thought that maybe the snake wanted to look at itself and have a closer look at its appearance. The doctor was no longer a mere statue made of stone. As soon as the snake crawled and got down from him, he came back to life. As the snake had crawled out of the doctor's lap, he stood up. Till now, he had stopped his breath because he was scared of the snake. Now he quietly moved out of the door, jumped from the garden, and ran away. All the people who were listening to the doctor's story got relief and took a deep breath after they came to know that he was saved. And someone from that group asked the doctor whether his wife was fat. He replied that his wife was thin and tall, just like a reed plant, because God did not want his wife to be fat. So she was thin and could run very fast. Another person from the group asked him whether the snake chased him. He replied that he ran and ran till he reached a friend's house. There he took an oil massage, took bath, and wore fresh clothes. He did not know if the snake had chased him or not because he did not look behind him. The next day, around 8:30 in the morning, the doctor, along with two of his friends, went to his room to bring his belongings from there. There was not much stuff to take, but someone had stolen most of the things from his room but left behind one thing. He thought that the thing which he left behind was to insult him. The writer asked the doctor what was the thing which the thief left behind. He replied that he left the vest, which was dirty and was hanging on the wall. He added that the thief was so much into cleanliness that he left the dirty vest there only. He says that the naughty thief could have taken it along with him, washed it with soap, and could have used it. Someone asked the doctor if he saw the snake the next day. He laughed and replied that after that night he never saw the snake. Maybe the snake was attracted towards its own beauty, and that's why it looked so carefully in the mirror. Now, I'm going to conclude what we have read today. Today, we have read the story The Snake and the Mirror. We read that this story is about a homeopathic doctor during his early career days. The narrator of this story is a doctor himself, where he narrates this story to some individuals. In this story, the doctor tells us that he lived in a small rented room during that time. Furthermore, the tiles of the room were supported by gavels, which in turn were supported by a beam. Moreover, rats were roaming all over the room and there was no electricity supply. Hence, the room was in a dire state. In the doctor's story, it was the summer season going on and it was night. The doctor came back to his room after finishing his meal at a restaurant. The room was certainly dark due to lack of electricity. As such, the doctor made use of a kerosene lamp to lighten up his room. The doctor also took off his coat and shirt. There were two windows in the room that were opened by him. After sitting on a chair, the doctor took a medical book to read. On the table, there was a larger mirror and lamp. Due to the immense summer heat, it was too hot for the doctor to sleep. So he began to gaze in the mirror and became lost in admiring himself. Furthermore, whilst admiring himself, a desire came to him to look more beautiful or handsome. Gradually, there was a shifting of his thoughts from self admiration to future marriage. The doctor thought of marrying a rich doctor who was rich as well as fat. The doctor did not pay much attention to the sudden silence, and the scampering from the rats came to a halt. Furthermore, there was a sound of something falling, but the doctor was very slow to react. By the time he had a look, there was a snake wriggling on the back of the chair. Soon the snake coiled on the left arm of the doctor. The snake was merely inches away from his face. Consequently, the doctor went into a deep shock and became like a statue. At this moment, the doctor felt the presence of God. It seems that this snake was like a punishment from God to the doctor due to his being too arrogant. Soon he came to the realization that he is mere human and he should not boast. At this realization of his true worth, the snake left the doctor and moved towards the mirror. As such, the doctor silently escaped and his life was saved. And now, on the basis of your understanding the chapter, there are some questions for you. I hope you will do all these questions by yourself. So, till the next class we meet, take care of yourself and keep studying.